Hey, welcome to Big Six Sports Talk. As you know, we go through our ACC journey from the previous week, and we always talk about the upcoming opponent. So, like always, click the like button. Please subscribe. Fill out the comment section. Always remember to follow us on Instagram at Big Six Sports Talk. So, as always, I want to introduce my co-host here. I have over here my man representing the U, B, or Bryant. Over here, I have my man JR representing UNC, those Tar Heels.
Go Heels.
Go Heels. And you have Marlon here, your host, representing them Seminoles like always. So we always kick off our show with the good, bad, and uglies from the previous week. With that being said, Florida State was on a bye week, so I get to sit in the catbird seat and sort of give my opinion and critique. Let me get that 20 real quick. So with that starting off, we're gonna like we always do. We're gonna start with the team that fortune wasn't as blessed this past weekend. So we're gonna turn it over to my man from the U to give his good, bad, and the ugly, and then we'll get to chime in ourselves. So B.
All right. Good. Good. The only thing good was still the tight end play, running backs. That was basically about it. I mean, I kind of like that downfield throws, some as well, but that was pretty much it as far as it goes. The bad, a lot. The bad was the defensive scheme. What we came out with to be able to go with those guys was just bad. It wasn't there, and our defense should have been a lot more prepared, and I don't feel like the coaches got them ready for it. Let's see here. Quarterback play was bad to ugly. Let's just go into ugly. Everything else.
Frank, I'm about to say what you got nothing. I'm like,
I'm searching for something even bad.
Yeah, pretty much everything else. It was a rough game for the Canes. From just the defense, offensively, and the slow starts, not being ready to play and letting teams go ahead and get the momentum early just makes zero sense to me. So it was definitely a ugly game from that standpoint.
So I remember just when we was talking about this game leading up, one of the things I said was I thought Miami would come out the gate slow, coming off the bye week, and I remember you like, no, that coach has gotta make sure that doesn't happen, and it just goes back that they did sort of come out the gate slow. With that being said, 15. But you know, when I look at the good, bad, and the ugly for Miami, one of the things that the good to me was those boys continue to fight. They could have packed it in after the first quarter being down 28-0. For them to fight back and tie the game, it's one of those things that you're excited as a fan, but it will have to drive you crazy as a fan. Yeah. Because you have this team that you can see has potential to do so many things, but they don't do it consistently, or they find ways to shoot themselves in the foot. So it definitely has to, that has to be frustrating. So my bad, and I have to sort of piggyback on Brian here with the bad being when I look at it is the offense. Just in that first quarter, the offense was horrible. Yeah. In the first quarter. So if I had to say, I'd just say the offense in the first quarter. I think the defense, Brian mentioned defense. I think, they could have played better initially, but I just think that that they was a little worn down by the time of the fourth quarter. Because they had to extend so much energy just to get the game tied again. Both playing complementary football. Mm-hmm. So I just think that the defense just got a little winded, and you see that. And then the ugly, and I said it was part of that. But the ugly is just I call the offense. I don't want to say them again, but Jaron Williams, your first 6 attempts, 3 picks. That's just. Some of the throws you made, it's like, why? I understand you want to give your receiver a chance, but why?
Well, one of the things that they mentioned, but in regards to Jaron, which goes to, another discussion, is they mentioned that he had an injury to his shoulder that happened during the Central Michigan game, but never was really discussed until I guess he may have re-aggravated it against Tech, but
right. So then, in the whole post game press conference they made, it was never spoken of this injury.
Yeah, all of a sudden today.
All of a sudden, when they announced Nkosi as a starter, because earlier this week, Manny came out and said, "Hey, Darren's our guy," and everybody's like, "Well, okay, he only had one bad game, cool." But then I don't know what happened between earlier in the week and today for you to just say, that's right with Nkosi. So maybe it is something there. I just, it's all coincidental. I think you got to let Nkosi give him an opportunity because he played well when he came in. But I would say the same thing because this reminded me of sort of what Florida State is doing this year. Well, I'm going to take that 10.
I would say it's part of my good, bad, ugly about it because I didn't really get to watch our game because I was at my game. First of all, I like to say I was on who predicted y'all lost, so I like to.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
To say that, get that out there.
Congratulations.
But I'm like Marlon. One thing is I do like to fight because if I'm down 28-0, was it 28-0 they were down?
Yes.
And they fought back to almost come back, so you gotta give kudos to that. But wow, that's all I can say about that game. Wow.
But yeah, I just. I'm just interested to see, when a team, and I'm just compared to Florida State because, Florida State, you have the fan base high on Honeybrook, and you have someone say, hey, James really didn't do nothing to warrant, what's going on there.
Yeah, well, that's still one that's the discussion of, do you, about the replacement of, but basically about the replacement of the quarterbacks. Is it one that the old tale that you don't lose your position to injury? Is that still true these days?
No, we know it's not true.
Okay.
That's on Gerald then. You knew it was on him.
Well, and so with that being said, is where's the loyalty to the kids at all, if any?
It's a business, and you're going for your. It's a business at the end of the day.
And with that being a business, that still doesn't negate the fact of loyalty itself. Because when you're talking to these kids in their houses and you're talking to their parents, that's probably one of the things that coaches preach is family and, and things like that. But are you basically feeding them a pipe dream?
Right.
Do you think that's the case? I mean, but is the credibility of coaches and what they're saying to these players true, or are they telling players like, hey, you're gonna have to compete every week for your job, no matter what?
I don't think they say it like that, but I think they say you have to compete every week. Yeah, the opportunity. But can you lose your job to an injury if another guy comes in and gives the team a spark? Absolutely, because you owe it to the other players to put the best player that's hot at the time, if that's what it takes. And we'll see how it works out because it's an experiment out there at Florida State. They haven't truly. They're running a 2-quarterback system now.
Right, but you're still asking that player to not tell the truth and telling everybody that I'm injured when I'm not injured. When I'm fully, because he was able to come back in the game. They said he was able to come back in the game. But
Jaren or Black?
Nah,
Jaren, they said was available to come back in the game.
Yeah, I just found it fishy today. All of a sudden, it comes out.
this on you.
It's funny to me how he all of a sudden now he has a upper body, injury.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to me, there's a thin line there when you have Nate. I understand that that you're trying to. By me.
It should be by
It's
everybody.
by everybody.
Yeah. Look like I'm no man.
Yeah, I got caught.
So, but with that being said, it's still one where that's some of the, I'm going to refer to it as black market or undercover or underground things that go on in college football that you don't tell these kids about that can't happen.
Like they used to call it a gray shirt. You come here and all of a sudden, you got an opportunity to get the.
Yeah, I need you to pay your first year, but then I'm gonna give you a scholarship next year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not opposed to Nicole's plan, but I don't agree with some of the processes of how you play and when you pull the trigger per se, and things like that. I know it was a little different with Lorenzo Lingard and how it's going on with him, which is a whole other topic. But to me, you have Jaren Williams, a redshirt freshman, who has his first bad game, and I guess it was bad, and you pull it, and that's it. That's tough.
Right, and I get it. And just to our viewers out there, there's just a lot to talk about with Miami. We're gonna bounce right back to Miami just to give my man from UNC here a quick opportunity to do the good, bad, and ugly for UNC. This should be real short here.
Oh, why I gotta be short for Carolina? We had a great game.
Right, that's why it should be short.
I'm gonna go back and start. I'm gonna start with the ugly. The ugly is our wide receiver drops. There were at least 4 touchdowns dropped. I'm talking about in the receiver hand drop. Now the receivers came back and made great plays at the end. But hey, that's how you let a team hang in. Georgia Tech stayed in the game longer than they should have because of those drops. As one, wide over the end zone. So that was the ugly. The bad per se, I really didn't have too much bad. When I say we had a pretty good. Oh well, I take that back. The bad had to be a little bit of our defensive back play, and it was a combination of blown coverages and the fact that we were starting 2 true freshmen in the secondary because of injuries. The good, I have to keep going to Sam Howell, man. Sam Howell balled. Sam Howell had, went 37 for 51 for 362 yards and 4 touchdowns. Would have been more when we had the drops, but he total command of our team. We're the only team who don't have a quarterback controversy right now. We know who our leader is, and we're going to keep that. The running game was good. Defense came out. They stepped on Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech got a couple little easy touchdowns at the end of the game to make the score interesting. But overall, it was a complete domination by Carolina, something we needed going into this bye this week.
Okay. All right. Well, good, bad, ugly for me for Carolina. And I'm gonna keep it real short. I think the good was I didn't watch the game as I was more watching the Miami Virginia. Yeah, that was good. I had to watch the game, but no, I thought when I just sort of rewatched it that they like you said, your offense with Sam Howell had command of the game. The game, they just had control of the game, which I thought was real big. My bad or ugly is just one. It's just some of the Georgia Tech had a quarterback that could put the ball anywhere in a hemisphere. They would have had an opportunity to make more plays just because, as you mentioned, the secondary sort of had its struggles. So,
hey, but those the games we would have lost last year. So again, Mac is back, and it was funny being at the game with a bunch of Carolina fans, just to have the excitement that's around our program now. That's something that's been missing for forever. 15. Just to have that excitement back and the hope, we have hope in our program. It's like we can see the future, that Carolina is going to be in good shape for a good little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is one where I can definitely see the hope in North Carolina and in where they feel about that program and where it's going right now, and it's just being able to put it together week in and week out. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah. So that's North Carolina coverage. We're not trying to turn this into the Miami show, but Miami has the most content and the most
Issues.
issues and things that's just going on behind the scenes. So, you know, B, we're gonna throw you a little curveball out here. I think before you arrived, Jared and I was looking at y'all's schedule.
Ooh.
So the question is just throwing it out here. Do you still feel comfortable that y'all make a bowl game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I still feel confident in that. There's definitely things to fix, and with Manny Davis, with Manny Diaz taking over or basically overseeing more of the defense, I think that the schemes are going to be a lot more prepared for the game than they were in weeks past. And so I do see that coming. We just need to get that win to get back on that right track, as I would say it.
Mm-hmm. 15. Okay. Yeah. Right now, unless y'all saw something, we're looking at the schedule. That Pittsburgh game is going to be the defining game. I don't think y'all will beat, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Good play. I don't think y'all will beat. By me.
You don't think we'll beat who?
Virginia, Friday night. This Friday.
Yeah, and that's an important game. It's a big game. That was going to be the one. I don't think the majority of Miami fans were really expecting, the game to go against Virginia Tech the way it went. But yeah, if they can go in there to Virginia, which is a top 25 team, and beat that, I think that's the kind of game that can put everything back on the right track. And I definitely understand people saying that you can't beat it because of how they play so far. But at the end of the day, we got the players that can pull out that win, and I expect them to do that this week. But we'll see. Again, Nicosi put up a career game last week, and we'll see how he prepares for this week going into Virginia Tech.
No, yeah. Well, I just think my biggest thing is I think it has to be major improvements from that old line. With Virginia, anyone else they play.
But I think, but when you say major improvements from the O-line is going to be a struggle throughout the year. Now, what adjustments they can make to minimize that is what's going to be important. But they are who they are this year, and I don't think they've shown anything different this year. So from that, to think that there's going to be this magic bullet per se, there's not one, and that's what Miami has to live with and be able to make those adjustments, and that's what Enos is there for. That's why he gets paid the big bucks. And so in going into the game itself, that would definitely be important to see what he can do and to see what adjustments he makes to help with that. And Nicosi brings a little different style of quarterback play there, which which may mean that he may roll him out one way or the other more. And
I'm trying to get going.
and basically go from there. So we'll see. We'll see. We definitely will see.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and sort of dive into our next week's matchup, and we're gonna go ahead and give UNC there on the bye just opportunity to talk about the status of their team. And
our bye could not come at a better time. So hopefully we can get somebody back in our secondary for injuries. Hopefully we can get Trey Morrison back at some point this year. He had surgery today on his ankle. So hopefully we can get him back. And right now we're gonna be starting a true freshman at corner and a true freshman at free safety. So just hopefully this bye week give us a chance to heal up a little bit on the offensive line also. But bye week came a good time to get ready to come out on the 12th and show Miami how we're supposed to beat Virginia Tech.
oh, there it is. Shots fired, shots fired.
I mean, I never understand that.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the. I played it 6. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the Friday night matchup of. Is it Miami at Virginia?
No.
Virginia is at Miami. All right. So let's go ahead and start off with your preview scouting report and what do you think your predictions of the final score?
Well, for Miami, they have to be night and day from what they were last week. They need to come out strong and really give it to Virginia. Their quarterback is a tremendous talent, and hopefully Manny Diaz can be able to scheme. Seeing that he's had to scheme against Virginia a few times already. Hopefully he can provide that information to allow the defense to come out and dominate the line of scrimmage as they have in times before in other games. The thing that's going to be good is with Nessa Silvera playing pretty good because he had a pretty good game, and Bubba Bolden getting another game in there as well at safety because we really need that safety help and depth there too. So having those two guys come in for their second game of the year and hopefully providing the spark will be a good, I'm short of saying relief, but it'll be good to have their athleticism and playing ability out there.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your prediction of that game, though? What do you see? Score, win, loss?
Score wise, I see it being 24-21. Right now, I gotta go with 24-21 Virginia.
Okay. All right. Well, I tell you, you got the game a lot closer than I see it. But now, not to say, for people out there that look at Vegas odds, I think the last time I checked, mine was actually favored by 3.
I think it was less than 3, but.
All right, well, but still being favored after that performance against Virginia Tech is still surprising.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, maybe you might be on to something. But just looking at the team consistency, I think I'm going to go with a score of Virginia 31, Miami 24.
Man, you almost took my score. Because I want to say, looking at it, I want to say Virginia 34, Miami 24.
Okay.
Another ugly that we gotta get fixed is the kicking game.
Oh yeah. Boy, y'all missed an extra point. I don't think you're gonna fix that this year.
Average that we need.
I don't think I'm gonna fix that this year. I'm just gonna.
Is he a senior at least?
No.
Oh,
No, he's a sophomore.
Scholarship kicker.
Scout.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, most Power 5 guys scholarship kickers.
He got one job, I can't do it.
Yeah, I gotta talk you to transfer.
I mean, Florida State ain't no better now.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And shoot,
But
we ain't either.
so speaking of Florida State, going into it, you brought the kicking game, which is interesting. It's on UB, I believe. Yeah. Going into the kicking game, in that second half of that NC State game, they had benched a while and put in a different place kicker. And so it will be interesting just to see how that will, how they will continue to play that going forward. But going forward, Florida State got a big matchup this week. They got Clemson. Clemson coming off a disappointing victory on their end, back at home. Everybody done sort of dog Clemson out. You know, they're going to talk funky about them. And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, how Florida State respond, because Clemson's going to, I think, come out playing like madman. So just seeing how Florida State respond. We do have a couple of, first half suspension guys who got ejected out of the second half of the NC State game for targeting. Which I thought some BS. But with that being said, it's time for some of the younger guys to step up. We're gonna definitely be young, but it's gonna be time to see how those guys step up and perform. It's gonna be a good test because even myself, we often say, "Oh, Florida State defense is improving," yada 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 yada. We're going to see how much they truly have improved. I think you're going to see a very motivated Clemson. Let me get on board with team. Motivated Clemson. Also, another thing that I find interesting is that Florida State is supposedly going to run a 2-quarterback system. Now, how they're going to run that, I truly don't know as far as how you're gonna split reps and stuff, but they're gonna play both guys.
So what do you think about that 2-quarterback thing?
When it's working, you have no complaints. But if you feel right, I'm about to get there.
But how does that work with both of them being such different quarterbacks?
I don't know if they're really that much different. You have one that can push the ball down the field, that has a little bit more arm talent than the other. You have one that reads the defense and who will get the ball out a little bit quicker.
They're not much different.
That sounds like two different quarterbacks.
Well, I'm just saying.
Two different quarterbacks.
I don't think, as far as what they're doing offensively, I don't know. I think when you ask me how do I view it, I sort of like, I see the pros and cons in it, because I don't want to get to the point where one quarterback is hot and you pulling them out because you had this scripted schedule.
Right, but they are two different quarterbacks in what I've seen as far as their style, as far as one who is a lot more willing to push the ball down the field, as one is more conservative in getting the ball out quick and ready to just kind of methodically move down the field at the pace that the coach wants. And the thing about it is in those two different rhythms, if you have where one has first quarter or first 3 series and the other one has 2 series, or do you switch them in and out? How does that go with your pace and how the offense is setting everything up? Because that in the past hasn't worked well with some, and so if one comes out with a hot hand, let's say Honeybrook comes out the first series and scores a touchdown, and you were planning on putting in Blackman, do you still put him in, or do you stay with the hot hand?
And those are the things with the 2-quarterback system that you don't know.
But what's your opinion on it?
I stay with the hot hand.
Okay.
Because I feel sorry for y'all offensive line, because blocking for Blackman and blocking for Hornbook are 2 different things. Because Blackman's going to hold the ball.
Hornbook holds the ball too.
But hey, at least he'll throw a short pass. Blackman want to hit 75 yards every time.
Every time, right. But they're both pretty much stand in the pocket quarterbacks. You know, so it's not like one. When I look at difference, to me, when we talk about difference in what Kendall Brown's asking to do, it's not like he has to write one scheme for another. It's the same offense. It's just one will look at, I guess, the deep shots more than the other.
But okay.
But
So I'm not. The thing is I want to know what your perspective of it is. I get that this is what they're trying to do, and we understand that. But part of it is, to me, what would you like to see? What's your personal take on what you would like to see from one or the other?
Come on, Mark.
Yeah,
Right.
we-
Come on, Mark.
I don't want to take it. I'm not. I mean, I think there are times where I don't mind a 2 quarterback system for them. And let me explain why I say this. Sometimes with James Blackman, his emotions get to him in the game, and it affects his play. So I would like to see James Blackman play. You know, I would like to see, if you look at it from a split perspective, maybe we could say 60-40, something like that, in play, or 70-30. I just like to see sometimes when James Blackman gets in his own head, that you pull him out for a little bit, you have some. I think you just skipped John. So,
Thank you. This one's my point. Appreciate you.
So go ahead.
So yeah, I just think that I would like to, when James Blackman gets emotional and gets in his own head and start trying to force her, like JR said, just do deep shots when he start to get sort of outside the offense. I would definitely like to see them, pull him out and put Hornibrook in, just to calm him down while Hornibrook will get so he can get back in the system. But for the most part, I don't think James has did nothing to really deserve losing his job.
Okay, thank you. That last point was what I was looking for.
20 minutes later.
Right.
Yeah, you sound like Willie Taggart, not for real.
Like
was a little dehydrated this week, so
So you feel like that Blackman gives you all the better chance of winning over Hornibrook?
Yes, 15. And I tell you why. I think you're right. Hornibrook does a good job of getting the ball out early, quick reads and stuff. But I think there's certain throws that that he can't make. So if you're on the hash, it's sort of like you're that's it. You know, he only can do half the field, so it limits your playbook. I think it's about 16.
Okay.
But you got over there, John.
So does
15.
so what to you tells the tale of them, I guess, making this position change? Is it one where they already have it set, or are you going with the hot hand, and if the offense is a little bit more stagnant, then I'm going to put Hornibrook in to light a fire, or vice versa?
I think they're putting Hornibrook in, I guess, to light a fire. I don't know. Like Kendall Brown said, he's never done this before. So he's sort of leaning on Willie Taggart for this when it comes to when the.
So I'm leaning on Marlon Roberts, the coach right now, being the armchair coach right now.
Okay.
If Marlon Roberts was doing it, because that's what the fans want to know. What does Marlon think?
What would you do? How would you play?
40. How would I play it?
Marlon Brown.
48, 50, 55. How would I play it? I would come in and I'd play Blackman. That's how I play it. I play Blackman.
Okay, but going back to the original question is, would you say, or would you do it by series? Would you do it by quarter? Would you say, hey, if the offense is not moving, then I might be quick to
Right. Exactly. So it would be start off with Blackman. Let's say he's struggling, right? And it wouldn't be one series. He may get 3 series, right? And let's say 3 and outs, or he's not staying within the scheme of the offense as we're going back reviewing the film. You're saying, James, you're missing a short route because you're trying to hit the big play. You go out there, you do it again. All right, well, I gave you 3 times. Go ahead and sit down, and then maybe that will draw his attention. Like, okay, well, I need to, stay within the scheme.
Oh, so basically, like they did him from the get-go.
What's that?
That's how technically he got hurt, but that's basically what it did.
Well, yeah. At least he had an ice pack on his end of the game.
Yeah, but I could on anybody at any time.
Well, they put it on during the game, but he didn't take any snaps in the next game. But but I think you need to rely on James because James is your future. This Honeybrook is 1-0, and you're gonna be looking James in his eyes, talking about I love you.
But you mentioned James being the future. Is he?
What is it, junior?
Yeah, because he red shirt.
He's got another year.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
So is James really the future, or is it one where, he may or may not be the future?
I think he's the future from the standpoint of this year and next year, where they can have an opportunity to redshirt if we play well. The kid Jeff Sims that we got coming in that's committed to us at this time.
So then, if I understand what you're saying correctly, he could be in the same boat next year.
No, all of a
That's what it sounds.
All of a sudden, he's got another injury.
And Tim's here, and
No.
I mean, I don't know how you feel any different unless
Sims is going to be redshirt because you still have Travis Jordan, I think his name is, who's not, who's the 3rd string quarterback this year. So I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
With it, I think the reason Willie is staying committed because he see James not only playing a lot this year, starting for us this year, leading the charge, but being a quarterback to lead the charge next year for the most part.
So if this game against Clemson gets out of hand, do you see what quarterback do you see playing at that point in time? Let's say it's 3rd, 4th quarter. The game is clearly not going to be won. So you start giving folks some things, or you start giving players some reps. Do you see it being a Hornibrook time? Do you see it being a Blackman time? Do you see it being one where the offense is, we're gonna use this time for the offense to get some more work together? Or do you see them putting in one of the other quarterbacks?
No, I see them, if it got out of hand, I see them going with the quarterback who they felt played the best throughout that ugly game to prepare them for the next week, to say, okay, we have to establish some type of rhythm at some point in time in the game to hopefully carry on to the next week against Wake Forest, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to play the hot hand then to see, okay, well, if they're both playing bad, and I think I think it's the same thing if they're both playing well.
So if they're both playing well, you go with the hot hand, and if the game's out of hand, you go with the hot hand.
If they both play well, they'll stick to whatever rotation they're running.
Okay.
If they're both, you know what I mean, because you feel like they're both hot.
Gotcha.
If one is playing a lot better than the other, then I think you stay in that same lane.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And with that being said, Clemson right now was a 24-point favorite. I'm calling the game 38-31. Clemson. And think about that for a minute. Get my numbers together.
Well, that was a joke, though.
So the 20-point favorite, but I'm calling it
38-31.
So I think so. Basically, what I'm saying is I think Florida State is going to play with high intensity effort. And I think they're gonna
Well,
play.
we get all the
I think they're gonna play well. You know,
I'm gonna say like this. I would have not agreed with you even if Clemson would have had that close call last week. It had the bye week. I don't see Florida State staying with Clemson, especially the games in Clemson. I'm looking at more like a 45-20
okay.
Clemson.
25.
Yeah, and I don't see it being. I don't see Clemson coming out 2 weeks in a row in the game that they play. So again, I kind of expect it to probably get ugly early, and Florida State's hoping that they don't have any key injuries. I would see it being 52 Clemson, 21 Florida State.
So basically, the whooping Clemson was supposed to give North Carolina.
Florida State.
If Florida State could take that.
Somebody gotta get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, it'd be interesting to see how this all pans out, but I'd like to go ahead and say thank y'all again for watching the Big Six Sports Talk, and we'll go ahead and signing out.